Hello guys, and welcome to a new episode of the Football Plus F1 show. As today I'm going to talk about what happened yesterday's Premier League games, and also we're going to preview the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix 2025 for the season finale. And I'm going to start with that actually. Let's preview the Abu Dhabi 2025 Grand Prix season finale, the title decider between Lando Norris, Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. Right now, Lando Norris is 408 points, Max Verstappen 396 points, Oscar Piastri 392 points. Max Verstappen right now is 12 points behind Lando Norris, and also Oscar Piastri is 16 points behind Lando Norris. Oscar Piastri is 4 points behind Max Verstappen. So here's the season finale, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'm excited. It's Abu Dhabi, we all know it requires drama. It requires title deciders. We saw drama in 2010. We saw drama, of course, in 2021. We saw a bit of drama last year in the Constructors' Championship battle between McLaren and Ferrari. The 2016 title battle between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, and 2014 as well. And this is another title decider coming in Abu Dhabi between the three drivers. For the first time, there's a title deciding battle on the final day since 2010 between Sebastian Vettel, Mark Webber, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. Also before that, was 2007 between Kimi Räikkönen, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, this time in Brazil. But another title decider in Abu Dhabi. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be it's gonna be a cracking weekend. Not only the race itself, the build up to the race, the qualifying, the drivers' press conferences, the team principals, CEOs' press conferences before the race, before the qualifying. It's gonna be super exciting, and it's gonna be super. There's gonna be nerves, of course, from both sets of fans, from fans of Lando Norris, from the fans of Max Verstappen, from the fans of Oscar Piastri. But at the same time, this is what we're here for. This is what we're here for. We are here for these moments, to watch these moments, to see these moments, to experience these moments. And it's the first time there's a three-way battle for the title since 2010, or at least three, because 2010 was four, because Lewis Hamilton also was involved in the fight mathematically. But yeah, as you can see, for the battle for the championship, if Lando Norris wants to win, he has to finish in the podium basically. If he doesn't win, he could still win the championship if he finishes fourth. Max Verstappen doesn't win the race, and Oscar Piastri finishes in whatever position. In fifth position, if Lando Norris could finish fifth position, and also Verstappen finish second, Verstappen has to not win the race for Lando Norris to win the championship if he finishes fourth or fifth, and Oscar Piastri any position. And then you've got sixth and seventh and eighth. You know, guys, the mathematicians, because in this kind of scenarios in Formula One, you have to, count the mathematical things. If this guy finishes this position and this and that, so yeah. But the realistic, chances are that two McLarens and Verstappen are going to be in the top five. Which top five? Let's see. Because I don't see Ferrari doing anything. I think the only team who could challenge two McLarens and Red Bull are Mercedes, George Russell, and maybe Kimi Antonelli. By the way, that Busey suffered, by the way, is absolutely unacceptable, but that's a discussion for another day. So yeah, and then you've got Max Verstappen. If he wants to win the title, he has to win the race. Lando Norris to not finish in the podium, and Oscar Piastri whatever position. If Max Verstappen wants to win the title by finishing second, he has to hope Lando to finish eighth or lower, and also Oscar Piastri to finish third or lower. And Oscar Piastri, if he wants to win the championship, he has to win the race. Verstappen to finish any position, but Lando Norris to finish sixth or lower. And if he wants to win the title by finishing second, he has to hope Lando to finish 10th or lower, and Verstappen to finish 4th or lower. I mean, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. Looking at all the mathematic things and what could happen. It's very exciting. Right now, Lando Norris is 12 points clear, as I said. The championship, according to many people, he still is the favorite to win the championship. However, with the recent McLaren blunders, Do I trust them to get them over to get it over the line? And by the way, it's so embarrassing that McLaren itself, the whole team. I'm not talking about just the drivers. They've let Verstappen back in the fight because if Lando Norris outscored Verstappen in Qatar, Verstappen would have been out of the fight. He would not be involved in this discussion. But because of McLaren's stupidity, now he's involved in the fight. Listen, I'm not taking away from Verstappen's brilliance, but it should not be like this. It should be the battle between two McLarens. Instead, Verstappen is the fight somehow. Considering all the struggles that Red Bull had, with sacking Horner, etc. There's somehow Verstappen still in the fight, but you have to give a lot of credit to Red Bull Verstappen. They gave, and I want to talk about Red Bull first before I talk about McLaren, because I think Verstappen and Red Bull deserves a lot of credit. Even if they don't win the championship, they deserve a lot of credit. Before the summer break, Red Bull were, you could say, in turmoil. They had lots of problems. There was sacking Horner. There was leadership problems. Verstappen was in consideration to lead the team. A lot of problems was going at Red Bull. And Lauren Mekkers came in and many people thought, is he that good, And there was a lot of doubts, there was a lot of discussions, and we all thought like this could be the downfall, this could be the beginning of the end of Red Bull as a giant of a team in Formula One. And after the summer break, I don't know what the Red Bull guys did in the factory, but you have to say they gave Verstappen a wonderful car. From the summer break, from the first race in Zandvoort until now, they've done an incredible job. Not just Verstappen. I mean, Verstappen, you have to give him a lot of credit as well, because he still has that determination. He still has that desire, that mentality that he wants to win. He still has that fire, because people, when they win 4 titles, 3 titles, they're like, that's enough. But Verstappen, he still wants to win. He still has that mentality. He still has that fire in him. He wants to win. He wants to push to the limit. He still will do it whatever it takes to win. And in press conferences, he will play the mind games. He will say, I can't win. In pure pace, we can't win in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, in pure pace, Red Bull cannot win in Abu Dhabi. But I'm pretty sure we all said the same thing in Qatar as well, right? So anything is possible, Max. Anything is possible. And I think if anyone can do it, it's Max Verstappen. And the comeback he's done since the summer break, he's always finished on the podium. That's the consistency you need in order to win a championship. To always finish in the podium. Always finish in the podium. Like finishing the podium in Zandvoort, dominating Monza, dominating Baku, finishing second in Singapore, which a track that he usually struggles. But at the end, he usually struggles. But at the same time, he finished both of the McLarens in Singapore. He won the Austin Sprint. He won the Austin Grand Prix. He finished third in Mexico despite he had some problems in the qualifying. He made an incredible comeback in the Brazil race, finishing. He was starting in the pit lane and finishing the podium. And you could say he could have won that race, by the way, as well. He won Las Vegas. He won in Qatar. I mean, what incredible run. The only 2 times he was not in the podium was both races in the sprint, where he finished 4th in Brazil and he finished 4th in Qatar. Other than that, he's been absolutely unstoppable, absolutely an incredible run of form. He's been the Max Verstappen that we all know. And he's always been the Max Verstappen we all know. Even though Red Bull was struggling, he's always outperforming that car. But now Red Bull have improved that car. You can see Verstappen, you can see that the car is enough for Verstappen. Even though it's not faster than the McLaren, it's enough for Verstappen to help you get it over the line. Because Verstappen is that kind of guy, even though if you have the second fastest car, third fastest car, you would trust him to get it over the line. And he's done it multiple times before. And I think he will do it on Sunday. I really think so. And I'll say why, because, not only he has the mentality, he's like calm. He's like, if I win the title on Sunday, that would be great. 5 is better than 4. But at the same time, it wouldn't affect me. It wouldn't change my life. And you rightly so, because he's won 4 titles in a row. And however, for the record itself, I think he might be selfish in his mind that I want to win the 5th title in a row. I want to become the 2nd driver in Formula 1 history to win 5 titles in a row, because obviously the first driver was Michael Schumacher when he won it won 5 titles in a row with Ferrari. I think if Verstappen wins on Sunday, and that means he will win 5 titles in a row. I think if Verstappen wins 5 titles in a row, it will be a better achievement than Michael Schumacher did with Ferrari. And I know people say, it's recency biased. It's too easy to say that. No. Yeah, it might be too easy to say that, but you look at Michael Schumacher's era. you look at the competitiveness and the competition he had to face. He had to end Häkkinen's dominance 1998 and 1999. But Ferrari, like, were always a good team. They won the Constructors the year before. And Ferrari were a very good team. It's not like they were a team of scrubs. They were a very good team. And he did amazingly well, winning 5,000 in a row with incredible domination, incredible record. He had incredible skills, incredible driving. And he won 5,000 in a row. But he had a bit of a challenge from Kimi Räikkönen and from Montoya in 2000, I think, 3. However, you could say Kimi Räikkönen and Montoya didn't have the fastest cars in that year. They had good cars, but they didn't have the reliability that Ferrari had. And I think he won, I think most of those years, you could say all of them, maybe except 2003, but you could also say that as well, because McLaren and Williams in those seasons were very good in terms of the cars, but reliability not so much. All of those seasons, Schumacher won with Ferrari, all of them were fastest cars. I'm not taking away from Schumacher's brilliance, but you could make an argument for that. Whereas Verstappen, you could say most of his titles he would have won have not come from the fastest car. Obviously 22, 2023, of course, Red Bull were dominating. But 2021, he had to end Mercedes' dominance where they were destroying everybody. He had to end the dominance of Lewis Hamilton when he was destroying everybody. And yes, the way it happened in the end was controversial. Yeah, I know. But still, he challenged Mercedes. He and Red Bull challenged Mercedes like they didn't do in anything they didn't do in the 7 years before. He challenged them to the limit. He pushed to the limit. He never gave up. And he still pushed and never gave up. And yes, he got a bit lucky in the end, but he also had some bad luck in that season with Silverstone crash, etc. But he had to end the Mercedes dominance, which was so difficult because any other team, for them to had to beat Mercedes, they had to be absolutely perfect. And Verstappen in that season had to be absolutely perfect, and he was perfect. Except that the DNFs he suffered, and except the crashes that he can't control. All the time he's finished in the top 2, all the time, except Hungary, but we all know why because of the Bottas crash. He always had to, be perfect to beat Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes for the title. And 2024, last season as well, where Red Bull, you could say for most of the season, didn't have the fastest car. McLaren was the fastest. And listen, I still think for people saying Lando should have won a title last year, I don't agree. But I think he should have given, let's say, Verstappen a better fight than he did. But despite Verstappen's and Red Bull's struggles towards the end of the season, he still managed to hold on and win the title in the end. And he delivered that masterclass drive in Brazil. And this year, he was 104 points behind Piastri after Zandvoort. 104 points. And the comeback he's made, the incredible driving he's done, the consistency. I think if he wins this title on Sunday, it would be his best ever title he's won, in my opinion. It would be even better than 2021. We had to end the dominance of Mercedes in terms of the achievement, in terms of how terrible Red Bull were before the summer break, in terms of the comeback, in terms of being 104 points behind the two drivers, which has been never done in Formula 1 before. I don't think any drivers before were 104 points with 8 or 9 races to go and they came back and won. And Verstappen does that on Sunday, he would be, if he does that, then that would be his best achievement, in my opinion. It will be the best achievement by far his best achievement. So, yeah, and what I like also about Verstappen is that he has that incredible driving. He is, addicted to racing. He is committed to racing, committed to Formula 1. Because you see other drivers, sometimes they like to hang out, do some things outside the track. And don't blame them for that. But Verstappen, he has that. He loves racing. He is born for racing. He dies for racing. He trains, he does iRacing, he does go-karting, he does, GT3, etc. He dies for it. He loves it. He's born for it. And that's what makes him separate from the rest of the grid, in my opinion. Is that he's born for racing. He's so focused on racing, and he still wants to win. He still has the desire and hunger, and he still enjoys racing. And he still keeps winning, keeps performing well, and he would do whatever it takes to win. And that's why I like about Verstappen is that all this attribute, that's what a top champion is like. He still has that mentality, still keeps going, still wants to win. That's why Schumacher and Hamilton are considered the greatest, because they still have that hunger, desire to win still. And Verstappen still has that, to win. So, yeah, and for Red Bull, they deserve a lot of credit, because